for a while now, people have been telling me, ForneverWorld, you need to check out Kuroko no Basket. Check it out, man. It's awesome. It's hype. But I've also been hearing some things about Kuroko no Basket as well. The thing about Kuroko no Basket is a lot of the hype around it and a lot of the publicity around it. There's a mix of different things that I hear. I hear that it's amazing and it's awesome and everything. But then there's people that also say that it has a lot of yaoi elements. You know, they say there's a lot of things that go on with the characters, and ultimately that it just feels like very flamboyant. And I was very skeptic of like, should I check this out? Should I not check it out? And I was just in the mind state of, okay, there's probably like dudes like slapping each other's butts and all sorts of shit. Let me, you know, just put this on hold for a while. And I was just really like, I don't know if I should. But then one day after finally giving in, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a try. Screw it. Let's see. I'll make up my own mind, because that's one of the best things to do. Never rely completely on what people say. Just check it out for yourself and you'll see if you enjoy it or not. For starters, I definitely want to say that after watching both seasons, because I watched season 1 and season 2, I've seen small elements, very small elements of what people say regarding like little subtleties of like, okay, making the characters glisten, and maybe the characters will act a little bit here or there feminine. But for the most part, I definitely don't really see where people were like saying that it was yaoi, and some people will call it homo basketball. Some shit is like, I don't really see that, to be honest with you. It's very small things here or there where they'll give a little bit of man service for the females. And yeah, there could be a few more female characters. But aside from that, I really didn't get the vibe that people were saying that, oh yeah, it's just super yaoi and stuff like that. It really didn't feel like that. It just felt like, yeah, there's some man service for the females, which they deserve it. We get busty females every freaking anime, so why not the females get a little bit here or there? And maybe they'll add little sparkles here or there to make them look a little bit more glisten and sweat. But it really just didn't come across as like what people were saying. So that's one of definitely the things that I gotta mention regarding Kuroko no Basket, that one of the misconceptions that people say, I just didn't really get the vibe that it was just gay or anything like that. None of the characters were like that. A lot of the characters have girlfriends. And yeah, as far as that goes, regarding people saying that, you know, it just has these yaoi elements, don't really listen to that, because I didn't get the vibe from that for the most part at all. Now, another thing I want to talk about regarding Kuroko no Basket, obviously, if you haven't heard about it, basically, to put it simple, it's basketball with powers. So if you want to make a comparison, it's kind of like, you know, how One Piece is pirates with powers, or how Naruto is ninjas with powers. This is basketball with powers. And I find the concept to be, it's not 100% original. I'm sure there's some sports anime out there that did it before it. But it definitely, as far as basketball goes, because I find basketball probably to be the most interesting sport for me personally. So I was like, okay, you know, I'll check it out. That sounds pretty interesting. And one of the things I noticed is, as the series progressed throughout the anime from season 1 to season 2, in the beginning, it felt like it was small. You got things like Kuroko's misdirection, and it's like, it still seems a little bit like there's an explanation for it, but at the same time, it just kind of feels a little bit like, okay, you know, so there's powers in here. But definitely, as the series progresses, I noticed one huge thing is that the powers start to get really over the top. By like the end of season 1, you have a character like Kisei, who is pretty much the Kakashi of basketball. So, you know, I felt that definitely the whole thing with the powers, as the series progresses, definitely got a little bit more ridiculous, to the point where in season 2, Kuroko was literally doing a Rasengan Kamehameha with the ball, and I was just like, yeah, they definitely go over the top with the power. So while it didn't necessarily bother me per se, it did feel a little bit at times like this is getting a little bit out of hand. I mean, again, as the series progressed from the beginning of season 1 even to the end of season 1 with the Kisei stuff, and also Midorima, how he could just throw it and just keep walking and know that it's going to be in the basket over. So it definitely, you could say, as far as the powers go, it does get over the top, especially again by season 2. Things is just, you have the Super Saiyan transformation called In the Zone, and it's epic as hell. I can't lie, it's like just holy shit. I get super hyped when they go in the zone, but it's really just over the top. As far as the characters go, I like how it has a wide variety of characters that I really like, or I think are really awesome. Prior to Kuroko no Basket, some of the sports anime I've watched are series like Suzuka, with, you know, it's like track, or Big Wind Up baseball. I've watched a little bit of iShield 21. I've seen, you know, series like that, and recently Haikyuu as well. But I like how this series really makes me care about a nice variety of the characters. You have, of course, the main character, Kuroko, which is very interesting as well, that while he's the main character, a lot of the times I feel like he plays more of a supporting role to the other main character, Kagami. Kagami is kind of like the driving force, while Kuroko is more so there, yo, I'm gonna help you. But as the series progresses, I like also how Kuroko doesn't stay one-dimensional in the sense of the way he plays. It kind of just continues to develop him, and he gets different and learns different techniques, so that's cool as well. But I definitely felt like Kagami was the main character, and as far as favorite characters go, definitely Kagami, without a doubt. I mean, I love that Momoe, I ain't gonna lie. Now let me stop. I like how there's even characters that I like just because they're funny, like characters like Momoe, she's hilarious, and Riko as well, when, you know, she's getting pissed off because somebody disses her, or, you know, the team ain't acting right, the manager. Riko is definitely pretty funny as well. So there's characters that I like for the comedy, then there's characters like Teppei and his storyline and the things that happen to him. As the series progresses, you get to learn a little bit more about him, and there's just a wide variety of cool characters in there. And then you even have the other generations of miracles, and that's one of the things that makes the series more interesting as well. As it's going along, it's like, okay, I want to know what the generation of miracles are all about. What can they do? What are their powers? Like, Kuroko, out of all the generation of miracles, he's definitely like the most, okay, I wouldn't want to have just that power to like pass and have no presence whatsoever, which again, you know, as it progresses, he gets a little bit more over the top with his powers. But as you get to see, like, okay, this one can copy things, this one can shoot pretty much from anywhere, you know, and it keeps on going, so on and so forth. And that's one of the things that kept my interest as I was watching. It's like, oh, we just met a new generation of miracle, what can he do? I mean, at the end, you got Murasaki Bara, this fucking gigantic tower that pretty much you see character development with them, and I like that the characters, you definitely get to see development as it progresses with them. Like, they start off and they're kind of just like, you know, they have this one dimension to them, and as their art goes along, you get to see them open up a little more. Like, when Midorima started off, I was like, this dude's a fucking prick, fuck him, he's just, you know, he acts like he's a shit or whatever. But as it keeps on going, okay, Midorima ain't so bad. And Kisei is kind of like, okay, he's just a fucking clown. But then at the end of that game with Almine, while things didn't go exactly how I would have liked anyway, ultimately, he's pretty fucking awesome as well. So definitely I like how it expands upon the characters, and they do develop as you meet them and as the story progresses. Akashi, he needs to be in a juvenile detention center, because from what I've seen thus far with Akashi, when he tried to stab Kagami, I was like, this dude's a little bit whacked out. It's like, yeah, Akashi, stay away from me, bro. And then Almine, it's kind of interesting how they introduced him, and at first it was like, okay, so this guy is seemingly like the big shot. He's the guy to beat. Even set it up in season 1 like, yeah, he's the monster, he's the dominator, nobody can fuck with him. But as the series progresses, it slowly deviates from him being like the main, I guess you would say, antagonist or villain or whatever you want to call him, more so antagonist, to, you know, the setting team. And more so it's like, okay, no, the captain, Akashi, seems to be the main antagonist, and kind of like they all listen to him on some weird shit, as if like all the generation of miracles are like scared of him or something. One of the things I noticed that does sometimes irritate me is some games will be like extremely quick, and is literally like within a minute you find out the results of them, but then some games will be very long, and sometimes it works, sometimes it's like, yo, you see them, you know, they're up, they're down, oh shit, they're gonna come back the last minute, oh no, they didn't. Like, I felt the ending of season 1 felt very awkward for me, because I was so glad I had season 2 to go through immediately, because I have both seasons. The ending of season 1, it was kind of like, first of all, not even the main team. They already at this point had, you know, lost. It was more so now seeing what Kisei can do in his match versus Almine. And while it was epic as hell, it just felt like not the typical ending for a season 1. And I guess they did that because, you know, they were adapting in a seasonal manner, and they had to figure out, you know, where can we end? And I guess that was a good point they felt to end it. So definitely the ending of season 1 felt a little bit awkward. The ending of season 2 felt a little bit more appropriate, with setting, you know, defeating a team, and they're going to continue. They're going to the semifinals now. So I like the way the ending of season 2 was. I do think at some given point they do need to show the other first years, because it's kind of like you get most of the focus as far as first years go on the setting team to mainly Kuroko and Kagami, and the other ones, while they're not all that good, we should get some progression with them. So as far as like weak characters, I would definitely say the other first years, aside from Kagami and Kuroko, are pretty weak, and they should get some better development. And it kind of felt like a slap in the face to that character that was Kagami's friend from America, or, you know, was his friend or was his brother or whatever, because it was interesting how his main gripe was that while he can play the best he can, he ultimately can't defeat a prodigy. In my opinion, the theme of that kind of feels a little bit shady in a way. It's total opposite to a series like Naruto, where in a sense it's basically saying, okay, so no matter how much work you put into it, you can try your very best, but at the end of the day, if you're an average person, you can only get as good as an average person gets, while prodigies like the Generation of Miracles, they will always be better than these people. So it's basically saying that, born gifted and talented is superior to hard work, and I don't really care for that message. I think at the end of the day, hard work can surpass, if it tries hard enough, a prodigy. Which is interesting because while it goes with that for that particular character, Kagami, who started off and he just seemed like he was a very badass player, but he wasn't a Generation of Miracle or anything, and he didn't really seem like a prodigy, he crossed over and he broke open that gate to the Generation of Miracles and started tapping into that power. So I don't know if you could say that Kagami was a gifted person that kind of just didn't know he was gifted at first. I guess he was just a latent gifted person. So in a sense, yeah, still going with the meaning of gifted people will always fuck up regular people. Really want to quickly talk about the English in there. Alexandria Garcia, love her. She's awesome. My kind of gal. I felt like regarding her English and everything, first of all, why didn't they just get a natural speaking English person in there, a English speaker, a native English speaker? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what she's supposed to be. And when she's like, what's all this noise about? And Kagami's like, put your clothes on. I was like, Kagami, first of all, stop being gay. She's awesome. She's hot. What are you doing? But yeah, they definitely should have carried also the whole idea of her being, a native English speaker when she's thinking in her head. I'd imagine that it was challenging for the voice actress to speak English because she's probably not a native English speaker. But like when she's thinking in her head, I was thinking to myself, shouldn't she be thinking with an English voice if she's natively speaking it and only speaks Japanese because she learned it? And I know that's a small nitpick, but that's something that I had on my mind as well. But overall, regarding Kuroko no Basket, I went through this anime like butter. I rarely watch anime this quick. I literally watched season 1 within 2 sittings. I watched like 14 episodes in one sitting and then the 11 episodes in another sitting. I was pretty addicted and it's just really, really enjoyable. I wouldn't say that like it's the greatest thing ever or anything like that. And for me personally, since I'm not that big into sports anime, I can enjoy them. Like, an Ippo or stuff like that, I can enjoy them. But as far as like basketball in particular, there's really only so far I can feel regarding like a threat or something like that. I can enjoy the characters for what they are, and Kuroko, one of the best things that it brings is that it has some very interesting and enjoyable characters. So, that's one of the strong points to it. But overall, it's a good series. It gets over the top a lot of times with the powers, but I really enjoyed it, and I think it has a special charm to it that not many anime have. That again, within like 2 days, I finished my first, season of it, and then I finished the second season in like another 3 or 4 days, which the second season, I will say, I enjoyed more, and I think it's overall better than the first season, except that it does, again, take that power thing to the next level. But within the second season, a lot more of the other characters start to get fleshed out. You learn more about the Generation of Miracles. It has a more appropriate ending than season 2, and overall, I just felt like season 2 was just far more enjoyable. But it's just one of those series where you can watch a shitload of it. It's not a masterpiece by any means, but it's just really freaking enjoyable, and that's what I got out of Kuroko no Basket. It's not something that, like, I feel like, oh my god, is this character gonna die or anything like that, because obviously it's a sports anime, you don't expect any of that, but it just has a lot of nice elements. And if you like series, again, that take let's just say a particular topic or something and add a lot of those shonen elements with powers and stuff like that, then you can get into Kuroko. Don't be swayed that it's a sports series, because a lot of times people look at sports series and they're like, ooh, no, get them away from me. But the thing is, first of all, it's not like you got to be knowledgeable about basketball or anything like that to watch it. I'm not that, knowledgeable regarding like, oh, he's the center, he's a power forward or whatever like that, I'll be like, touchdown or some shit. So I'm not that knowledgeable about it. So you really don't need to. And overall, with sports anime in general, I think people should give them a little bit more of a try, because one of the things I'm disappointed with Kuroko is that why isn't it licensed yet? Like, this is probably one of the most breakout hit sports anime of all time, and people are scared to license it because people are skeptical of it. And at the end of the day, just look at it as, oh, basketball is a part of it, but at the end of the day, what you're watching it for is to see these characters and these interesting characters and some of the elements that they add in there that is pretty interesting, and seeing them break through different, goals and whatnot and struggles. So definitely I would say give it a try. If you want something different, if you've never tried a sports anime, I definitely say try this one, because again, I was skeptic at first. Don't listen to all the yaoi stuff. There is some man service here or there, but it's nothing to get too worked up about. And there's some fan service in there as well, so it's not that big of a deal. Especially like That hot tub scene with Rico and Momoe. So hot. And overall, that's pretty much my thoughts on Kuroko no Basket. Pretty fucking awesome. I can't wait. I know season 3 has been announced, and I'm really looking forward to that because it left on such a cliffhanger. Yeah, Kuroko no Basket. Does it live up to the hype? At the end of the day, I say it does, because out of all the sports anime I've seen, I never really quite got that addicted to them like I did with this. I mean, 50 episodes in like roughly a week. Need I say more? Well, let me know what you think about Kuroko no Basket. If you've seen the anime, did you enjoy it? Do you like it? What do you think regarding all the hype around it? Do you think it deserves it? Do you think a lot of the yaoi things people say about it is undeserved? I definitely 100% go with that is undeserved. It does not feel like yaoi. There's man service, and that's as far as it goes. But you don't see like Kuroko kissing up on Kagami or something. Come on. And as far as the manga goes, I doubt I'll ever review the manga because I just don't see myself like talking about basketball on paper. Obviously, there's more to it than that, but maybe once the anime is completely confirmed, like, okay, they're not animating anymore, I'll check out the manga. But as of right now, I'm way too enjoying the anime to go to the manga side because it just seems so lively and enjoyable with the music, the action, the intensity. It's like, yeah, I'm sticking to the anime for a while. Just your overall thoughts on Kuroko no Basket. If you haven't seen it, will you check it out? I'm telling you, it is very enjoyable, and at the very least, even if you won't like it per se regarding the way it's written, as far as the craziness of the powers, at the very least, you'll get a kick out of it. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, you can do so as well. That'd be awesome. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.